The story starts when me and a couple of my friends decided that we were going to go on a hunting trip until we encountered what seemed to be local authorities.
You have an armed weapon upon your
That's
car, and it's entering into the city.
This
is a
There is
restricted area.
a rifle.
This is a restricted
strapped to your
area.
back.
While the cops and I started arguing about whether or not the machine gun was real, I then spotted something that absolutely scared me off in the distance.
What is that?
Sir, this is a restricted area.
I know what
I
that is.
advise you to leave now.
What is that?
They can't.
Can I know what it is?
Okay.
I'm gonna take a
But
look.
I'm not on my break.
Get
right
on the
now,
ground.
so-
You'll be coming with us.
Bro,
You'll be coming with us.
why?
With not much choice, we had to get out of the vehicle where we'd have to lie on the ground and give up any belongings we had. After that, the cops immediately started knocking us out with their weapons. And so this would begin an amazing story with action, adventure, mystery, friendships, betrayal. It has everything you could want. So grab some snacks, grab a drink, and prepare as I tell you the story of how I escaped under the custody of the SCP Foundation. When I woke up from being unconscious, I would find myself in a transport truck with a bunch of other people. A few minutes after I'd woken up, I was then forced out of the vehicle for roll call. I also realized that I still had my knife and I had immediately planned to use it.
Alright, everyone out. Line up.
Okay.
Line up. If you have anything important, drop it now.
Seeing that the guard was now distracted, I took my chance, pulled out my knife, and immediately killed the guard. And just like that, me and my fellow prisoners were now free. We gathered everything we could from the truck and then even implanted a 1 into the ground, maybe like some kind of calling card. I then immediately got to discussing the important details with my fellow escapees, as we now had nowhere to go, but we had all agreed that it would be best to go into the city anyways, so we grabbed the half-track and drove over there, until the half-track would indeed break down, so we had to run the rest of the way. The first location we would come across was an airport. Now what's a better escape place to find than an airport? We immediately went inside and looted the place, finding tons of gear, tons of police stuff, and tons of guns, which we thought we might not need. This was also when we had figured out that the city was actually evacuated, as we didn't find anyone here or any signs of life. And we decided that we need to find some answers, so we searched around the airport until we came across a control tower, but the control tower was locked and it needed a code in order for us to go inside of. We figured that the code must be inside of the airport, so after trying a couple of combinations of our own, we ended up just going into the airport to look for the code ourselves. We would eventually find the code book for the door to the control tower, but one thing was missing, and that was Lifeless, who was one of the characters that was on the half-track, and now he was missing. We had no idea where he went, but it wasn't our first concern right now, as we wanted to loot the control center. Inside of here, we would find a book with instructions and a signal flare. Both of these things would actually become extremely important down the line, so we needed to hold on to it, and so I immediately held on to the signal flare and began reading the book.
This flare will allow you to call out a note containing a team of admins. The amount you get is unknown. The admins will allow you to do the 2 things: be extracted, or they will help you with a mission.
The book would state in order for us to use the signal flare, we would actually have to do 2 things. We would have to A, destroy the cargo bay for the SCP Foundation, and then we'd have to take out the power for the SCP Foundation by destroying their nuclear reactor. And on top of that, there was a computer right near us that had the coordinates to all of the locations that we needed to go to. This seemed a little dicey for me, and I didn't even know much about the SCP Foundation. All that I knew is that they kidnapped us and that they're the reason that we were here. So, with that information, we immediately ran back into the airport to look for some extra loot and decided that we were going to confront the SCP players ourselves. Little did we know the SCP players were actually coming to us. It would take us all night, but eventually in the morning, we had figured that someone else was at the airport and we did not know who. This resulted in us hiding in one of the airplanes nearby, and eventually as we were making our way out, we would be spotted by the SCP Foundation. And to be honest, we had no idea what these guys wanted, and so we decided just to dip.
Stop!
Yeah, stop moving.
Hands.
We will
Runners.
shoot. We will
Runners.
shoot.
Runners. Oh, one of them has a gun.
I've got a 12 gauge bullet with your name on it. Come here. Yo, stop moving. We are actually we could shoot you right now.
They pointed gun.
Oh!
Grenade.
Stand back! I'm actually gonna use the M4.
Now that there were bullets flying everywhere, we had to make a quick decision, and the quick decision was to run and hide in a house that was nearby. We would run and hide in here for our lives and pray that Ryan would not come in here and find us.
Here, I've got him contained in a building right now.
Little did he know that we had figured out that we could just break out the window, and after trying to go under the fences, we'd actually come across into the sewer system, which allowed us to safely swim away. After a long swim, we'd eventually come across dry land, which would allow us to dig back up to the surface and eventually meet up with Pink Knight, and I eventually grabbed everyone together to ask them a very important question. Would they rather go to the cargo bay first or the nuclear reactor? And after a quick stop at McDonald's, we had decided that it would be best to go to the cargo bay first. Me and Romeo decided that we were going to go in and destroy it while Pink Knight stayed back and look for players and resources, so when we come back, we would come back stronger than ever. After breaking the fence to get in, we would eventually arrive inside of the cargo bay, and we immediately began sneaking around. This place was huge and full of all different kinds of loot, but that wasn't our worry at the moment. We just needed to find a good spot to hide and find the SCP guards who were guarding this place. And sure enough, after a little bit of sneaking around, we'd come across one of the snipers, Ryan, who was the commander of the SCP Foundation.
We know that there's one of them very close by over there. He's in that one over there.
After noting Ryan's location, we then sneak off to go look for our own spot so we could snipe Ryan and deal with him, and so we would eventually come across one of the cranes and we'd climb atop it. It also turned out that Romeo had a sniper rifle, and I immediately told him that he should probably use that on Ryan, which he agreed to, and immediately together we started firing at him.
Look, there he is. I think, no, he's laying down. He's laying down. It's glitched.
Unfortunately, Ryan's character was glitched, which would not allow us to be able to snipe him, which meant that we would now have to sneak around the cargo bay and pray that we did not get spotted by him. But there wasn't a lot of cover, and eventually we were spotted by Ryan.
Hey.
You know, believe it or not, I saw you.
He doesn't have it.
Yes, I do. You're under that wheel right there, sneaking around in the back by the big cargo.
We couldn't let Ryan know of our exact location before reinforcements were sent in to absolutely wipe us off, so we began pushing him, but his sniper was no match, so we ended up running past him and found the perfect place to destroy the cargo bay. But before we were able to blow it up, we would come into more SCP guards and we would have to fight them off.
Everyone needs to be
Yo,
watching.
put your hands up! Put your hands up! Put your hands up! I swear. I want you to drop. Yo, Trummy, don't shoot! Trummy, don't shoot them! Trummy, don't. Okay, they're shooting Trummy. They're gonna kill him. You better stop. I will kill you. You have 5 seconds to stop shooting, or I'm going to actually shoot you with the shotty.
After killing one of the guards, we knew we were no match for the other 2 remaining, so we immediately began running away, but they were right behind us, so we had to absolutely leg it.
Where? Okay. Go. I'm in. Drive. Actually, drive.
Yep, driving.
We got a car. You guys are so screwed.
We would make it back to the oil supply containers, in which I would run in with the explosives and I would throw one and it would go off, but it did not destroy the best oil place and we were immediately put into a pickle.
Kill them.
Stop moving. You're trapped. You're actually trapped.
Actually, they fucking
Don't move. Yo, you.
I was then down to 2 hearts, so with not any choice, I had to surrender, and Romeo would then follow as the guards threatened to kill me if he didn't comply, and now we were captured by the SCPs once again.
Try anything.
Okay.
Go forward.
Okay.
Do you have food?
Follow.
We have food.
Here, you follow behind him.
Follow
I'll
Scooby.
follow behind you. Oh no, you go first.
All right.
The guards would lead us into a pivot where they would force us to give them everything we had.
Drop your armor.
But
Drop your armor.
Drop your dick.
no.
I had so many random guns and random amounts of ammo and armor in my inventory that when I dropped it, it looked like I dropped everything I owned, which allowed me to keep a few items in my inventory. But I was still naked and at gunpoint, so there was no chance I was going to be able to escape. We were then forced to follow the SCP people all the way back to their base, all the way back to the prison.
Just know, if you do not follow me, you will get shot.
And just like that, it felt like it was over. I had failed to promise the freedom that I'd promised to Romeo and Pink Knight. I had failed to deliver them on that promise I had made to them. And so we walked all the way to where Ryan would keep me prison for the rest of the event, unless I was saved by someone. I would try to keep hope. I mean, Pink Knight was still out there. There's still people out there. I just don't know if they're gonna come and save me. And so I had that little bit of hope, but it didn't seem like it was gonna do much, as I knew of Pink Knight's abilities, and they were not that good. So I would have to deal with the fact that I was going to have to be captured, and me and Romeo would end up just going on this long journey with Ryan and Scavenge, and Ryan would gloat in my face every chance we got until we finally got to their HQ. I tried to keep my mind off of the failure I had done, and I had immediately started writing down the coordinates, and I even tried to write down the code to the door that Ryan was doing, but Scavenge wouldn't let me look and immediately made me look away. Eventually, the doors were open, and my chances of escape seemed gloomer than ever. But then it was at this very moment a miracle happened. I accidentally fell down the elevator shaft going all the way to the bottom floor, and at the same time Romeo went up the elevator, which confused the guards by a ton. They went up to meet Romeo, but Romeo would come down, dodging the guards, and all at the same time the guards were going in different directions. We kept going up and down, and the guards were completely confused, and eventually I would break away and I was all by myself. Romeo would then later on join me, and we both looked at each other, both equally shocked that we had made it out, and we immediately began sneaking away to the garage, where I would put on all of the gear and equip all of the guns that I had kept when we had dropped almost everything to the guards, who were still looking for us in the building. But while the guards were searching, we actually found an exit out of the garage, and we were gone. We ran so far away from the HQ that we immediately realized that we could make up for our last mistake, and we ran all the way back to where the best oil supply was located. After arriving here, I would run inside and use some of the TNT that I found from the SCP Foundation and planted it inside of this place, and then after placing redstone, I would flick the lever and it would soon explode, finishing the mission and cutting off all of the supplies for the SCP Foundation. After the explosion, I handed Romeo a steak, and together we enjoyed a nice little meal as we watched the objective we worked so hard for burn. And this would be the end of Chapter 1, as Chapter 2 would continue on and things just get even more crazy. Oh my god. After some time at looting at the cargo bay, we'd meet back up with Pink Knight, who actually brought 2 new friends to join our little cause. Pink Knight ended up getting tons of resources as well, including guns, ammo, and food, but her most prized possession of all that she found were her 2 AA guns that she had discovered on the boat, which made me overly overjoyed that we had this thing, as these things are extremely powerful and so useful. And it turns out we were going to really need these AA guns, as minutes later the SCP Foundation arrived in a Blackhawk.
Listen.
You guys surrender?
What?
Surrender?
Everybody drop the weapon.
Put your hands
It's
up.
really, really loud.
Hands up.
You got these around. Your hands up.
Amidst the chaos, I'd see my chance to place down the AA gun and attack the Blackhawk, and once I did this, all chaos would break loose upon the SCP Foundation. Seeing our chance at the confused SCP team, we immediately decided that it would be best to run in and try to take them all out.
It's broken. I should have
Yeah,
bought
it's broken.
Do we chase him down or what are we doing?
What?
He's getting shot. Where are they? Where are they?
Ryan, get over here right now.
I'm lagging. Why am I lagging? Oh my god. Oh wait, what? I'm loose. Oh no, bro.
Did we kill him?
One of my friendlies.
I got a lot of hits on him. I went up there.
How'd you get up here so fast?
Seeing our chance to wipe out the rest of the opposing SCP team, we ran to the top of the building where we would force them to drop their armor.
Ryan, I've been yelling
Thank
that.
you.
We need back up. Wait, infiltrate?
We need backup.
We need better weapons.
Hey,
My guy, we need better weapons.
I would surrender. Surrender right now. Dude,
Hi, Ryan.
Personally, I didn't mean to kill the other two remaining members who were trying to surrender, but I mean it was the other guys' fault, and I got a 50 cal out of it, so I was not complaining at all. But of course, that joy would come to an immediate end as Ryan and reinforcements would arrive, immediately attacking us and doing tons of damage, and they even were able to take out one of our teammates. We would manage to make Ryan and his reinforcements retreat, and we immediately knew that from here on out, we needed to find some way to get revenge. I gathered the people from my group that I trusted the most, Pink Knight and Romeo, and I immediately discussed with them something very important. Because on this day, there was a new transport with new prisoners arriving, but there was also a cargo ship that was going to go to the SCP team if we didn't stop them. It was at this moment a decision was made. Romeo would lead a squad to go and rescue the new people who were arriving, while I was going to go and infiltrate the SCP cargo ship and then steal the items from that cargo ship so that the SCP team could never get them. Eventually, I would meet with the man responsible for transporting the goods to the SCP team, and his name was Badar. He was the pilot of the Chinook, and I immediately swayed him that I was going to be his co-pilot, and I was just a little bit late. This actually worked, and he believed me, and eventually I would talk to him into going and following me to a different location so I could reveal myself. Upon revealing myself, I immediately pulled out my 50 cal and pointed it straight at his head, and I demanded every single item that could possibly benefit me and my team. I wanted the guns, explosives, and the food most importantly, as that is what my team lacked the most in. While Badar dropped me the loot that I requested, he also explained to me why he was here and what his objective was. Apparently, he was assigned to go and meet up with Ryan and whoever else he had with him to exchange the loot together, and I immediately told Badar that he probably shouldn't go there anymore. After that, Badar would then taunt me, saying that if he didn't show up, the SCP Foundation would kill him and anyone who knew him, and so, knowing that I had messed up and screwed this man, I decided that I should help him out. And so, we both got in the Chinook and prepared to give the whatever bags we had left for Ryan and whoever else we were giving these items to. Upon arriving at the place, you could immediately tell that Ryan was skeptical of everything now, and especially me and Badar, and as soon as we landed and gave the bags to Ryan and his helper, Ryan would then ask me a question that made my heart drop.
Alright, both of you, take off your helmets.
Badar would immediately take his helmet off, but I refused. I was not about to take this thing off and expose myself to Ryan and Valentino, so I decided just to place down the Chinook, get inside of it, and get out of there as quickly as possible. After we were sure that we had escaped the SCP Foundation, we made plans to meet back with Romeo and his group, but along the way, the Chinook would run out of fuel and I would end up having to crash it, and this would result in me and Badar having to run all the way back to where Romeo's team was. After a really long night's run, we'd eventually make it at the mall where Romeo's team was located, and I asked Badar a very important question on whether or not he was going to join us, and eventually, he, knowing that he was in trouble already, decided to join my team. We immediately had 2 new members, Blinky and Badar, and our numbers were now stronger than ever, and now I also could gear them all up, giving them guns, armor, food, and all sorts of other things that they could need, and with all of this, we decided that we should take our chance at the nuclear reactor, planning to destroy it. We would actually split up in 2 groups. There was the assault group and the cover group. The cover group would stay back while the assault group, which was my group, would go in with TNT and destroy every single generator there was. With that plan set in stone, we immediately headed over to the nuclear reactor prepared to win this fight and destroy every single generator. Little did we know, the SCP Foundation was prepared. As soon as we arrived, we knew that something was up. It was extremely quiet and there were barely any guards outside of the walls. I would run in and plant the TNT to break the first layer of the wall, and that was when we started making contact with the enemy. And the enemy, it was in the most dangerous thing possible, an Apache. The Apache started firing down missiles at us and would take out 2 of my men in about 2 seconds.
Oh crap, you weren't kidding.
The explosion would kill my new member, Corncur, and one of the oldest members that I had, Pink Knight, who was one of the most trusted people I had on my team. After losing them, we immediately knew we had to retreat.
Run!
We would all get separated until me and Blinky would find a house where we would hide out and immediately call every single member who is still alive on my team to this location where we would finally all meet up. I was in complete shell shock after the experience. I mean, I just lost 2 men in under 3 seconds, and I was completely shocked because I led those people to their death. Their blood was on my hands. Due to this, the other members in the group decided to come up with a plan. Blinky would stay behind and report on any information about the enemy team, while the rest of us would go back to the cargo bay and try to come up with something better to come back to the nuclear reactor and destroy it. Next day, things would turn out for the better as Lifeless would show up. He would tell us a story about how he got lost and met a new friend named Sturmonite. He'd tell us all of this very detailed story about how he got lost and then met up with Sturmonite, but most importantly, Sturma had a rocket launcher. This was the perfect weapon we needed in order to take out the Apache. It took a little bit of convincing, but we managed to convince Sturma and Lifeless to come with us on our journey to destroy the nuclear reactor. But getting to the nuclear reactor was not going to be easy at all, as security was on a high point. After sneaking past the helicopter, we managed to sneak up and hide behind some buildings. Eventually, we would push the exterior wall on the nuclear reactor, and I would push in with my TNT and start trying to blow it up. But of course, nothing is that simple and that easy, and we would eventually get spotted by the SCP Foundation, resulting in us getting in a gunfight. After a really tough fight, we were all low on ammo, low on health, and low on food. We immediately decided that we needed to get out of there as soon as possible, and we resulted in destroying one final generator before we booked it out of there while being chased by the SCP Foundation. I was about to die to Scavenge, who was one of Ryan's men with a shotgun. Lifeless, seeing this, decided he was gonna run in and distract Scavenge, but Scavenge's shotgun was too powerful and this would result in Lifeless losing his life. Losing Lifeless was tough, but I knew that I had 0 time to mourn his death, and I immediately ran as far away as I could. Eventually, I would meet up with Romeo, where we decided to run and hide in the nearest building. We immediately started talking about how we needed to complete the objective. We apparently left 1 generator remaining, and knowing this, we knew that we had failed the lives of Sturma and Lifeless. But then a miracle would happen. A pilot would fly above us and document our location, but as he went back to go and give our location to Ryan, he ended up leaving the helicopter by himself, killing himself and leaving us with a helicopter. Me and Romeo's plan was simple. I'd use the helicopter to distract the SCP Foundation while Romeo would go in and destroy the final generator, and so I took off knowing that this might be my final mission. I would arrive at the nuclear reactor and immediately put myself in the perfect sniping spot, preparing to snipe every single SCP guard I could find, but then the worst would happen. I started to hear very excited screams, and I learned that Romeo TK would be captured and they were ready to kill him. And so now it was me versus the entire rest of the SCP Foundation. With Romeo captured, I was our only chance at going home. I started to come up with a plan. I was in the perfect sniping position and all of the SCP guards were in one spot, and so I decided that this would be the perfect time to take one of them out. Waited all night for a good time to snipe them, but the sun would rise and this would reveal my location to the SCP team.
Ah, look who we see.
Hey.
Top of that building over there, bud. Survivor.
Yeah.
Come quickly, and we'll put you with Bob, whatever the fuck that guy's name is, alright? You be with him, alright?
Put you with Romeo. Now get your booty down from there, and we gotta talk. We gotta have a nice little chat.
Yeah,
and if you
I'll
don't come down,
I'll put the gun away, alright?
we'll come up there and get you.
Whoa, listen.
Oh, God!
What is this?
Whoa!
Ryan would immediately flex that this was the same Apache that had killed 2 of my friends.
Down. You saw 2 of
Get
your friends die
down!
to this thing. Alright.
What do you got?
You have the options of coming down, or you will come down in a body bag. Come down peacefully. Those are your 2 options.
Ryan, can I ask a question? Can I just like go home? Like, I just want to go home with Romeo, like back to, you know, simple old
No, you
life.
have
Gay? Oh, we have more reason to
broken
kill you
the
now.
laws,
You're
and you need
gay?
to atone for it.
But, like, you're the one who kind of like kidnapped me though.
You broke the laws. You need to now pay for breaking the laws.
But like, you're the
Dog your
one with a
friends.
military level helicopter out here trying to take me one guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're a guy with a brain. That's dangerous, man.
mean,
Any
I
guy with a
could
brain
win.
is dangerous. Listen, survive, bro, whatever the fuck your name is. Come down quietly, and you know we don't have to do anything at all. We can let you be with Romeo, and
Okay, Juliet. We'll put you with Romeo,
Oh,
Juliet.
oh no.
So okay, Juliet, just do that, and you know we'll put our guns away.
I think if you just like leave me and Romeo, okay, we're gonna go, and then you know you don't have to die to us. You don't have to
You're
die
not
to
gonna
us.
kill us. Now get down. I'm gonna give you 10 seconds.
It was at this moment I looked at my inventory and I saw the signal flare. I knew that I had to destroy every single generator and the cargo bay, but I had done that already. But there was 1 generator left, which means that this flare might not work at all and I would get 0 reinforcements, and without reinforcements I would 100% lose. And so, praying that this would work, I used the signal flare while Ryan would count me down.
10, 9, 8,
So I'm gonna just like
7.
bring in some friends.
6.
Hold
1.
on. Give it a second. Give him a second. I don't know. It's
Your chances are up.
It seemed like reinforcements wouldn't come at all, as just as I launched a flare, no one came to help me, and then the rain started to pour and I knew that this might be my end.
I don't know where the lights went and why the rain turned off, but trust me, that those guys are coming.
But then help would arrive.
I see something!
Let's go! Meet my good little friends.
And with the new friends I'd acquired, we would take on the SCP team and hoping to wipe them out and finish off the final generator.
Come and get
Look out!
What?
Yeah! Get out there!
Let's go!
Oh crap!
Hey boys.
Oh!
After finishing off the final SCP member, I immediately ran in to go and try to find Romeo.
Where's Romeo? Romeo, where are you?
At first I couldn't find him and I even presumed that he might have died, but then eventually I turned the corner and there he was.
Yeah, about it. Romeo! Yes! Take that, you need that.
After getting Romeo back on his feet, we would then wait for the man who had saved my life, the man who had flown the Apache. The man would tell us that his name was Vela Dino, and he would explain that he was on a Special Forces unit known as the Doom Squad, sent with one purpose and one purpose only, to destroy the SCP Foundation, because, as he said, they were an evil organization sent to kidnap people against their will. I met eye to eye with this man, and when he asked me between the two choices of going home right now or finishing off what we started with the SCP Foundation, we would immediately accept to go and take on the SCP Foundation. Also, he would introduce us to one of his friends who also helped him fly the Chinook. And so we went off, the mission to destroy It Ryan and everything corrupt the SCP Foundation, and eventually we would arrive where It Ryan would walk up to us, greeting us with a smile on his face.
Alright, Ryan, why don't you show yourself? No.
Come out there. I'll come out there and talk to you man to man.
Okay.
Look how scared I am.
Yeah.
I'm not scared of you at all.
You're pretty terrified right now, I think.
I am
I
not
got
scared of you
all
at
my
all.
friends here. You like these guys?
This guy's shooting at me
You like
like
this
an idiot.
guys? He's got
Do you think everyone that works for you is cool?
Yeah, Romeo's like my best friend. We've been through everything together. We went from the airport. Where else have we been? We fought you multiple occasions. And then there's Batter.
What you don't realize
Huh?
is we're a federal agency. We plan for everything. We actually wanted you to come to this very base. Why? Because at the end of the day, we planned for this.
Stop shooting.
We knew. We had you on a list a long time ago, Survivor.
How long ago?
We knew.
I've been on.
We knew that you might be interested in this stuff based off of your search history.
Whoa,
You know
what?
what's in there.
He's been in my search history? No way. Oh
So
no.
with that being said,
Okay. Anyways.
we come to this crossroads where you're here
Yeah.
at our facility.
We
What you
probably
don't
can-
realize is we have infiltrated you since the beginning.
What? No.
So-
No. You can't have done that. You couldn't have done that.
If my undercover agents would like to come down here and stand
Agents?
next
There's more.
to me. Agents.
Romeo! No. Part of the you came from the thing.
He wanted KFC and you didn't give him KFC.
He said
I'm bringing him to KFC.
your teammate really sucks. I'm gonna be honest.
So,
Hey, I'll take you to McDonald's if you shoot Ryan right
we'll
now.
give
I'll take
you-
you to McDonald's.
that's our options expended. Get down here and surrender, or bullets are gonna start flying.
Hold on. Let me answer a call real quick.
Come down or face the consequences.
I thought your teammates were like good people, by the way. Like why?
Consequences in 3. I don't know. 2,
Consequences?
1. There's your first of many.
Everything had led up to this battle right here, and unfortunately I would take out Romeo as he had betrayed me. It hurt to kill him, but I did what I had to in order to win this fight. If I lost, I'd probably die, but if I won, I would finally go home, and so I fought my heart out on this final battle. After we managed to get the Apache up in the air, Ryan would retreat, and this would allow us to immediately push in on Ryan's location and begin wiping out the SCP Foundation.
There's one guy on the roof. Alright, they're coming.
At first, it didn't seem like we had any way of getting in, but then I remembered Batter used to work here. He knows the codes to the doors, and so we used the codes to the door to go and attack the SCP guards who were guarding a vault. Unfortunately, amongst the gunfight, Ryan would fire a rocket launcher which would kill Badar immediately, leaving me and Lifeless alone in order to take them all on, and we were badly injured as Ryan used this rocket launcher a lot.
Got no right to that coward.
Eventually, we'd get Ryan cornered and we would be able to kill him. After so much suffering he had caused to me and my groups, to me and my friends, after all the kidnappings, all of the murders, and everything he had done to me and my friends, he was finally dead. I had finally gotten my revenge. This would only leave one SCP guard remaining, but he wasn't that hard and we managed to kill him pretty much after Ryan had died. After our victory, all we had to do now was open the vault door, and when I asked the Doom Squad what the code was, they immediately answered the date of Christmas in 2022. This kinda shocked me that they knew it this quickly, but I decided to ignore it. They're a secret squad, I do not want to mess with them, I just want to get home. Inside of the vault, there was a massive bomb inside of it, which would detonate after 10 minutes after a button was pressed. The Doom Squad demanded I press the button, so I did it, and we immediately legged it out of there. Using the elevators, we managed to get to the top floor in under 5 minutes. This gave us a great amount of time to wait for the Apache to arrive and to watch the sunset and reflect on everything that we had done. I had done everything the book asked, I had done everything the Doom Squad asked, and I had done everything to be freed. I could finally go home, but before boarding the Apache, Veladino wanted to say a few words to me.
There. Yeah, let's go.
We can finally go!
Oh, but Survivor. Come here, I need to talk to you about something.
Yeah.
We're leaving,
Yeah,
but you aren't.
I'm in the mirror, lights that make you look good, coated with that pastel, wanna disappear, so we riding with the planes. I love you, ain't lying. Showtime in the mirror, Chief up for that one.